Some of my favourite prints, I love the one with the elephant, called The Power of One. This one over behind here. It was shooting with a landscape camera, a very wide angle camera. When you normally shoot wildlife, you shoot with telephoto lenses. So you get back in the safety of your car and you go click, click, oh, very good, very smile, Mr. Elephant, and all that sort of stuff. And you're safe in your car. But when you're shooting with my camera, I had to get within about 40 foot at the maximum to that elephant, a bull elephant. And I was waiting for the opportunity, and we had one come through our camp, and we're at Zimbabwe on the Zambezi River at Mana Pools. And this elephant came through the camp, and this friend of mine called Craig, and he said, you know, I reckon we could follow this one in the canoe and get him when he goes out onto the little grass islands out in the middle of the river. And I'm thinking, okay. So we're in the canoeing after this elephant that's swimming along with his big trunk going. And it was sort of cool because he couldn't do too much harm in the water. But then he comes up on this bank, and we sort of got up on the bank with it. And then he said, the guy saying to me, Craig said, now be careful for the crocodiles. I said, crocodiles? He said, yeah, there's crocodiles in the river, and we've got the elephant in front. And I'm thinking, great, so which one do I look at, the crocodile or the elephant? And so we're finally sneaking up on this elephant, and he said to me, Craig said, whatever you do, if this thing charges, don't run. And I'm going, okay. And he's got this big gun over his shoulder, and I'm thinking, oh, well, he's big hunter, you know. He's got the gun, we're safe, you know, this is okay. He knows what he's doing. He's a big white hunter. So we get there, and I'm going, click, click, and he's behind me, and so I click, 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 and then all of a sudden the elephant's ear went, like this ear here went, flicked. And on the actual photo you can see just a movement in the ear, and all of a sudden that thing, it looks like a little elephant. This is not a little elephant. I only come up to its tusks. When you see the shot, and you know I have to be looking at it right now on the other wall, but I'm only up to its tusk. I'm a half its height, you know, in my fullness, I'm not even sure half. And so all of a sudden this thing just went from hello eating grass, it just erupted. And I'm like, whoa! I thought, this is it, we're done. Because I could never have imagined that a thing that heavy could begin to move that fast. And the next minute there's water splashing everywhere. It's like going, poosh! And forget about crocodiles. I've forgotten about them a long time ago, you know. I'm not having to worry about crocodiles. I've got an elephant charging at me. And I always thought if I'm going to go, I'd like to try and be able to shoot all the way through. So I had my Canon camera with me too, and I just decided, I stepped back and I started shooting, and I went click, 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 click on a motor drive, thinking this is going to be interesting. And you can see the motor drive sequence as it came, but it got so close that you could always see his bits of grey. It was the lens setting. It came so fast. And then all I remember is Craig threw his hat at the elephant, and then all of a sudden the elephant just went whoa up, like sort of whoa, pulled up, and it was like I'm looking at wall-to-wall elephant. It's like 10 foot away from me. I'm just going like this, and Craig looks over at me and he says, oh man, I'm glad you didn't run. I'm going, run? Like my heart has just gone into I don't know where it went, but it's just like, I'm just frozen. It was just the power of this thing. It was just unbelievable. And the elephant just sort of then meandered back to its grass. And I'm looking at Craig and I said, you threw your hat at an elephant? I mean, that's it? A hat, how does that work? And he says, well, usually it distracts them, and you know they sort of stop. And I'm just thinking, man, that's fantastic, you know. So it was quite an interesting shot. So that's the shot of The Power of One. You know.